Last time I did an INFJ video, I was in this same room, in this same chair, in this same outfit. One of the big dangers in using personality typing to advise people on careers, or any important decisions really, is that it can be used to limit people. Often people will use their personality type as an excuse for why they wouldn't be good at something, or shouldn't even try something. Although yes, if this system is accurate, then by definition, certain types will have strengths and weaknesses. It's my belief that any type can do anything. So, no excuses. Almost every INFJ either seems to resonate with, or find themselves often in, the role of counsellor. I described INTPs as great advisors in their video. So, what is the difference between an advisor and a counsellor? An advisor is there to solve your problems. It's kind of dispassionate and intellectual. Being a counsellor, on the other hand, is more of an art. Because, as we know, people don't always want their problem solved for them. They want to feel seen and feel heard, and all that good stuff. It involves finding out what drives and motivates a person, even if the person in question doesn't even know that themselves. INFJ's dominant introverted intuition and second slot extroverted feeling make them perfect for the subtle art of maneuvering people onto the path that best serves that individual. Introverted intuition is very abstracting in the sense that it takes things it sees in the real world and views them as abstract concepts. In a sense, personality types are kind of like that, taking something as complex as a human being and viewing them as this abstract archetype. The reason this is such a useful trait when it comes to mentoring or guiding others is that INFJs can envision a place or role in life for the person they're helping and gradually get that person to realize that role for themselves. INFJ's extroverted feeling is a very powerful weapon because, unlike other types who would get very bored very quickly hearing about other people's feelings and problems, when someone is venting to an INFJ, they'll be greeted with this deep, intense stare and a very sincere head nodding. And once they've caressed and cajoled you into that false sense of security, their third slot introverted thinking will offer up a solution dressed up as a suggestion. You'll find yourself taking on the advice of an INFJ without ever really realizing that the advice was given in the first place. So basically, INFJs can get people to open up to them in a way that then makes them very receptive to any suggestion the INFJ has. I've mentioned this before, and INFJs always seem to dislike it when I bring it up, but those traits make them excellent potential manipulators and puppet masters. There's this soft and subtle, unassuming force they can exert that, in the moment, is barely perceptible, but over time makes a big difference. So, there's probably INFJs watching this now thinking, you know what? I absolutely hate the idea of being some kind of counsellor to someone. I can't stand listening to people's problems or feelings. I wish I wasn't the person that everyone came to for advice and insight. Being good at something that you dislike is a very ironic place to find yourself. But it's easy to be seduced by seemingly glamorous or desirable roles, like having your own business, or being a CEO, a sports person, or a famous musician. But the vast majority of people are not cut out for these glamorous roles. By which I mean, these roles don't match up well with a person's natural strengths or tendencies, although that's definitely not an excuse to not try it. People find that kind of hard to deal with. They think it's a reflection of them somehow not being good enough. Well, it isn't. In fact, it's a blessing. Realizing that rather than being the CEO, you are better placed being a manager or an intern. Realizing that you are better at writing songs for the famous musician than being the famous musician. Realizing that rather than being Tiger Woods, you should be his caddy is not the same as saying, I can't be great or achieve something great. It's just saying that your path is slightly different. By knowing your place and your role in life. You can use that as a platform to build from, rather than the idealistic approach of seeing something you'd love to be and figuring out how to get there. Taking the more pragmatic approach of what skills and attributes do I possess currently and what can I do with them right now is probably a much better approach to achieving something great. Things like careers or just life in general is so non-linear that actually planning out a career in the modern world is extremely difficult. Finding something that you're good at, and even if that's just you being slightly better than the average person, and yes, even if you don't like it, building on strength will usually set you up better to then go after the thing that you actually want.